Right, we are going to talk about recovery tools because this can be a really powerful piece to add into your routine and, support your goals, support your body, and help it work more optimally. Now, I'm going to caveat at the beginning, and we'll talk about this later. You're going to hear a lot of different things. And sometimes our first um, thing that we like to do is be like, okay, I need to do all of these things, right? Like, okay, let's go. I need to attack all of it. Here's the deal. We're not going to just add in a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm going to, like I said, we'll talk a little bit more about that toward the end. So as you're listening, I don't want you to think like, okay, I need to now add in all of these pieces because it can be easily something where we start getting really overwhelmed or like, I don't have time for all of this. That's okay. 100%. I get that we are busy women who have a lot going on. I don't want slash expect you to add in all of this. So let's get into just the benefit of using some of these different recovery tools and then how it's going to help support you. Now, first, let's go into I think this can happen a lot where it's like I have so much going on that we feel like I'll recover later, right? Like I'll do that later and that never comes, right? We never actually implement a system to make it part of our daily life. And so it gets to this place where, especially like when we're driven, we're high achieving, we're just like, let's go. We kind of go more to the like, I need to grind mode, right? I need to do more. And it's sometimes this piece where recovery work, the things we're going to talk about, tend to not feel productive because it typically is something that's slow. It's a lot about slowing down where like our training, our nutrition, like grind, 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 right? Um, it can almost feel like, yes, while the grind is beautiful, please don't. If you know me, I love the grind too. Um, but there's those pieces where we love structure control. We love routine. We love pushing our limits. But there's also this place where your body will say, enough, no more, I need help. And we kind of ignore our natural body's cues. So, recovery work, like I said, can often feel like non-productive. But honestly, it is one of the most productive things we can do is to recover and let our body recover from all that we're putting it through. So I share that because at the end of the day, I want you to hear that it's super duper important. Um, Now, recovery is a strategy, right? When we're talking about these recovery tools, it's a skill, it's a strategy, it's something that we have to do. Not have to do in the sense of like, I need you, you have to do this right now. Add all these things in. No, it's something that we have to prioritize or think about and create room in our day to do it. Now, why I said like before, why is this often under prioritize because like we think like more work, more results. So like if I work out more, that will get me better results. Or if I do more here, if I diet harder, that will get me more results. And there's also this piece that I think is more internal, like mindset, where we almost guilt ourselves if I'm not going nonstop, then I'm not being productive. Then we're gonna have this session. I know we talked about it last time, but the worthiness, this also I think digs a lot into like if I'm not actively doing something, then there's some kind of not good enough, not worthy, not achieving. There's this guilt, shame. There's a lot of emotions that pop up. And so when we're saying like this almost perfectionist mindset of like, I got to do more, I got to grind hard and not slow down or not kind of take a pause and slow things down, it really will kind of drive us in this like constant grind. And then your body will be like, you need to go down. We get sick, right? Or we are like, your body will get hurt. It will tell you enough. So that piece where guilt, shame, there could be other feelings that pop up for you, but that's something too that it's like if I'm not going nonstop, then there's something here with me. And that's something I would definitely explore. And we'll talk about more of that next time. Next time. Um, Also, really cool fact that I just want you to know is we teach our body how to act, right? And a lot of times, what we do is you get almost hopped up on stress. So it's like, okay, I am going to thrive in this go, stress my body out. And what it does is your body starts to create this loop of like chasing the adrenaline, chasing almost this stress. And it thinks like this is how we now operate. This is the way we operate. It adapts, right? Your body is an amazing adapter. And so stress can definitely do this. And so when our body's wired to just be like, let's go, you almost think that like when you're trying to be more still, like when you're taking these moments of recovery and slowness, it feels almost like a threat to your body. I know that sounds crazy, but it's real because your body's like, this is how we live, this is how we thrive, this is how we, and then we're like, slow down, do this. And it's like, no, right? So your body does have that loop that we teach it. Like we've personally taught it to thrive on stress. And then when we're trying to be like, I need to chill out, I need to relax, and your body's like, no, we don't do that. So we also have to give space and room for us to feel uncomfortable with this. Um, and there's sometimes this slower feedback loop because everything in here I'm going to talk about is not instant gratification. Like you don't just like go into the sauna and immediately you're like instant gratification. Everything's great. You really have to do things consistently. Surprise. I'm sure you're not surprised. To see the long-term results. And that's one of the most important thing is all of these things. It's not like I can do a one-off session. It's like if we're going to include it and really get the most bang for our buck, it's like we really need to do it consistently, just like our workouts, just like our nutrition. Like I said, no surprise. Surprise. Now, what can happen if your recovery is lacking, right? You're like, okay, I'm not sure. How do I know if I actually need maybe some of these recovery tools in my life? Because it's not necessarily something where we have to add in everything, all the things, like I said earlier. But a lot of times when you're feeling really stuck or plateaued, even if you're being super consistent, this is a sign that your body needs something. Now, in any fat loss phase, and I'm talking specifically fat loss phases, there's going to be moments where your weight might stall, measurements might stall, and you think something's wrong. And a lot of times, what we need to do is keep pushing through and keep the consistency in motion, and we'll see that stuckness drop. But it's also something for us to step back and pause on and go, hey, if I am stuck, if I am plateaued, I need to check on my body and start seeing if my body's trying to send me signals that I potentially am not listening to. You might notice cravings, mood swings, poor sleep. Um, Ooh, yeah, like hormone thyroid pieces appear out of nowhere. This is exactly, to be very real, before I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism, this is exactly what happened to me. All of a sudden, it was like I just had these like now I know they were thyroid symptoms, but at the time it was like, what is going on with my body? Something is off. And I wasn't really listening to my body. I was like, push, grind, move harder. And what it needed was like, no, stop, chill. So that can be something that does pop out. And it's a sign that like your body needs, again, help. Low motivation, loss of excitement, like that can also be very real in any journey, because you're not always going to be motivated. Motivation is your hype girl. Like she's the one who like, let's go. But she's also the one who does it not the day you need it. It's like when you're thinking about it, you're thinking and planning, you're like, that's going to be amazing, I can't wait to hit the gym tomorrow, and then you're like, I have to hit the gym today, right? That piece that's going to happen in any journey. When I'm talking low motivation, loss of excitement, sometimes that can be just lack of clarity of your goals, where you're going. And there it feels like I don't know what I'm doing, so I have nothing here to be excited about. This happens a lot in maintenance when people are like, nothing's happening. That is something to check in on, is like clarity around your goals, what you're doing, why you're doing it, really leaning into that. I'm also talking about like just sitting in this place where it's just like everything's off. There's potentially something here in your recovery that might need some support and help. Again, we need to start listening to our body. And that can be hard because to listen to your body means we have to slow down. And when we're go, go, go girls, when we're like, let's go, that can feel really challenging to slow down and to say, like, whoa, what do I need? Right? So these are going to be the biggest like recovery systems we're going to talk about. And at the end of the day, you'll see these little icons. So I kind of tried to keep a little bit of a visual in here because it is very wordy. Um, but with this, what you can do is like kind of see some quick glances of like, hey, how is this recovery tool supporting different systems that need recovery? So there's like physical recovery, there's nervous system recovery, hormonal recovery, there's cellular recovery and emotional recovery. So all of those pieces, not every single one is going to hit all of them, but there are multiple ones that'll hit multiple. And we want multiple pieces of recovery because it's going to help your body, right? These are all things we're putting stress on our body over time, and it needs love and help and support. So, um, this you'll see these throughout, and then if you guys have any questions, always you can like continue the conversation below this video. Um, all right, let's go. The tools. This might be a little beefy, so if you need to like listen to this in two parts or pause it, absolutely. I try to add in as many pieces as I can. And of course, if there's something else that you want more on, we can always do another one and do like a point two, like 2.0 recovery tools. So the sauna. I love the sauna. It is a great piece for relaxation, but it's actually really powerful for recovery and to help your performance in the gym. Now, what it can do is it helps your body with like heat stress. It can also help with like muscle growth, endurance, kind of detoxing your body and your body handling stress, which is super powerful. It can also help with like hormones and just your overall like mitochondrial function in your body, which is allowing your energy, your stamina, your if our mitochondria aren't in their best place, it can just mess with like how we absorb things. And then if we're not absorbing the nutrients, then we're lacking those nutrients. And then we could go on this random rabbit hole and tangent, but I'm going to stay on the path. So the physical benefits that you're going to see is it's definitely going to increase your growth hormone. And I know we've probably heard about that many times, but that signals your body for growth, the growth hormone, which helps muscle recovery, helps with fat loss, helps you feel good. So those pieces, really huge. It can also help your blood flow. So it can help with like your nutrients being delivered better. It detoxifies your body. So it gets rid of, just if there's like heavy metals or things like that in your body, gets out. It can help with protecting your cells and helping them repair. So it can be a really powerful tool for recovery and repairing your body after you like train the house down in the gym, right? And you're like, my body's taxed. The sauna can be a really great like recovery tool for your body. It can actually help with your cardiovascular health without actually going and doing cardio because of the heat. It actually can mimic aerobic exercise, which is really, really cool I think it's cool in my opinion. Like I said earlier, it can enhance your mitochondrial function. So it can help with supporting your energy, helping your stamina, keeping you feeling good, which is what we want. Now, it can be really beautiful for like neurological and hormonal pieces to lower your cholesterol. Not cholesterol, nix that, not cholesterol, cortisol. Wrong thing. Which is amazing because that is bringing our stress down, right? It can help with like endorphins, dopamine, so you get, more mental clarity, better mood, just feeling good, love. It can actually help your sleep quality, so getting better sleep, and help your nervous system like calm down, which is really powerful, especially when we're living in such a heightened and stressed out state. Bring us down. And this can actually be really helpful if you do have hypothyroid. Even ladies who are in perimenopause, menopause, sometimes the thyroid gets part of the puzzle. And it's not that you're going to be hypothyroid because no, but your thyroid can get a little bit hit because of stress and things like that. So it can just help with thyroid and adrenal function. So just your thyroid impacts a lot of other systems. Sometimes we think of the thyroid or these things as all separate, but everything is interconnected in our body. And if the thyroid gets impacted, other things get impacted. So it can really help keep your hormones happier, body happier, like I said, nervous system, de-stressing you in all the beautiful ways. Um, Great thing it can do is like detox and skin health, which is powerful. Like I said earlier, it can eliminate some toxins, heavy metals, the things that we like the phytoestrogens that we get in or xenoestrogens that we get in like plastics and stuff like that. It can help just kind of get that stuff out of your body, which is really cool. It can help like blood circulation, so it can also help with like collagen support. And you might look like you've got a little bit of a glow. And I'm not just talking afterwards, but it can help your skin look more radiant, which is really a win for us ladies. And then it can definitely make us be hyper aware of hydrating because that's one of the biggest cons is what people can do is be like, wow, this sauna thing sounds great. So many wins, right? It's like powerful, powerful, powerful. Let's do sauna all the time. That can backfire because if we're constantly doing the sauna, it is going to potentially just stress out your body and increase cortisol a lot. And especially if you are feeling super stressed and you're overusing the sauna, or if you've been in like a deficit a really long time and you're overusing the sauna, you can actually start to like make your body feel worse and you might feel under recovered. That's not the goal. Our goal is not to do things excessively, it's to do it strategically and with a really powerful like plan in mind. Now, the other thing I see people do is go too hard too fast. They're like, I'm going to go sit in the sauna for 45 minutes. No, you will dehydrate quickly. You are sweating, right? You will be releasing a lot of sweat through just sitting in the sauna. You need to properly hydrate. If you are not drinking enough water, get on that first before you start jumping into the sauna because that dehydration will impact other organs, kidneys, liver, digestive tract. Like everything is going to start getting impacted. And when your digestive tract, your gut gets impacted, then it starts messing with your hormones. No, water. Make sure that you are drinking, I would say, at least 100 ounces of water. If you are using the sauna, more because your body is going to be sweating it out and the electrolytes are going to be sweated out as well. So replenishing with some electrolytes would be really powerful after the sauna or during the sauna. I will bring a water bottle in the sauna. I know not everybody wants to do that. Totally fine. Now, it's not ideal if you're doing like HIIT training or even after your workout. Like sometimes it's really good to leave some space in between from like when you've done some like really heavy, intense exercise and the sauna. That way you're in a better place to bring your body down versus like you're already in fight or flight mode and then you're going back into the sauna and keeping your heart rate up. It may just negatively impact you. So those are just things to kind of think about. When I say cons, it's more like watch this. Do not like there are some pieces of like overuse. We don't want to overdo anything, just like anything. Too much candy, not good for the body, right? Too much broccoli, not good for the body. Too much sauna, not good for the body. Too much of anything is not the goal, right? It's finding that ideal balance. So I would say start like 5 minutes in the sauna. So that's like queen tip here is like start with like 5 minutes in the sauna and then slowly add time. We don't want to go too hard too fast. We want to give our body time to adjust and adapt to this in a sense, stress, but new tool, new thing to just give your body some time to adapt. Now, I would say the better days would be like maybe 2 to 4 days a week. I know I said 3 to 4, but like 2 to 4 is pretty powerful. Um, do it like post walk or potentially on a rest day can be really great where you're already in a state of like, I'm trying to recover, and this can just add to it. Now, of course, you can add it to a lifting day, but like I said, I would really try to separate those. And that can sometimes be harder when you're already like, well, I'm at the gym or I'm at this place where I can do the sauna. I want to do it right now. That might not be the most beneficial. So that's everything sauna. Now, cold plunges. These, I don't feel like they're as heightened as they used to be. Like, I feel like maybe a year or two ago, they were like all the thing. Like everybody, it felt like everybody was doing cold plunges. But the great thing about this is it's actually a really powerful nervous system tool because you're learning to make your body uncomfortable, right? And you're learning how to calm yourself through that discomfort, which is really cool because you're teaching your body and your brain to handle stress and also recover faster from it and build this like mental resilience, which is really, really powerful and really cool. The physical benefits, yay. It will reduce inflammation and soreness, so it can help speed up muscle recovery. Um, it can actually help flush out metabolic waste. It can help promote your like blood flow and circulation, and especially as you like re-warm up post. So it gets your metabolism kind of like ramped up a little bit post doing it. It does help support your immune system. Um, and that there's a caveat there, and I'll talk about it later. So it's not like if you have autoimmune diseases or autoimmune issues, this is not the thing for you. I'll talk about it later. It can help like with lymphatic drainage, so just helping your lymphatic system drain of what it's supposed to, so you can feel less puffy, less bloaty, which feels really good. And like I said, it can help metabolic rate pump up because you're getting cold and your body's having to regulate your temperature. Now, there are some neurological and hormonal benefits. So it's going to really increase your dopamine and non-epinephrine because it really helps sharpen your focus, give you alertness, like you're in high, like functioning peace at that point, and you can feel really good after it for like hours. So really cool, just like whoa, feel good vibes. Um, it can actually help your nervous system have more resilience, right? So it can build this tolerance for stress and also help you emotionally regulate your body, which is a really powerful tool because, like, in our high stress lives, this can also be a way to start teaching yourself, like, how do I calm my body, right? Because I'm now in this super stressful thing, and breath work, we'll talk about that later. That's going to be something that you can do during this to help your brain, your body handle the uncomfortableness that you're intentionally putting your body under. And it can teach your body to recover better from stress. So it can help with cortisol response, like in our body. And cortisol is great. Like we need cortisol. It's not a bad thing. Best practice. This temperature, 50 to 59 degrees, there's a lot of different ones you can like temperatures, but for a good place, that's good. 2 to 3 minutes, maybe 2 to 3 times a week. Um, Morning can be great for like energy focus, but one thing that I will not have you do, the current research suggests that doing this like right after a lift can actually blunt your hypertrophy signals. So that means your everything you just worked for in the gym to put on muscle, it's going to stop it. So do not do this after your lifting. You need lots of space after it. So if you lift in the afternoons, doing this first thing in the morning could be really powerful. Um, the best thing you can do training your body is using breath work to really bring your body from that like heightened place to a calmer place by using your breath. Your breath can help bring you into more of a rest and digest state versus like a fight or flight. Um, like I said, we don't want to do this after our lifts because it can blunt your muscle growth. That's a no for me. If you have thyroid, adrenal, autoimmune issues, like I have Raynaud's, I also have hypothyroidism. This is not for me. I do not want any of my hypo girlies doing this. If you have autoimmune issues, Lyme's, Raynaud's, there's a whole bunch out there. Hashis, do not, this is not for you. This is not for you. It can actually make you feel worse. No, thank you. Um, Also, if you're perimenopausal, menopausal, potentially postmenopausal, I'd also caution you on that too for similar reasons. Not that you're immune compromised, but there is definitely a lot of pieces with your body that it may not recover well and could cause a little bit more chaos. So I'm not saying don't. If you want to try it, again, it's going to be one of those things that we need to listen to our body and start to realize like if we notice something's off or like we added in this thing and then all of a sudden my body doesn't feel as good, that's something to listen to. So if you're perimenopausal, this might not be for you either. Um, Requires consistency. And this is the piece I think a lot of people miss. It's like, I'm gonna go do a cold plunge. Cool, like neat. If you want to do it just to try it, but you're like, I'm not invested in doing it, go have fun, right? But to see the actual benefits, all these, right? To see the actual benefits, we have to do it consistently. Surprise. You're gonna hear me say that 100 times. Um, we have to do it consistently. So it's a one-off plunge isn't going to give you any benefits. So it's like one of those things you have to continuously keep doing and doing and doing. And so the biggest thing I'd say is just be careful, especially as women. Men tend to do better with cold plunges. Women with our systems might not be the best. Um, but there are so many beautiful things that you can do. So please don't hear me think I'm like trying to dissuade you. It's just something that I want you to be mindful of, like adding things in. And this one would be one I would definitely watch how you're feeling afterwards, especially if you're doing it like 2 to 3 times a week. Morning is probably the best because if you do this at night, I didn't say that, but like if you do this at night, you might be super alert and focused, and then we're trying to wind down for the evening. It's the opposite of what we want. So this is much better done in the morning because it can give you a lot of like pep through your day versus like we don't want that at night when we're trying to bring down the energy to go to bed. Cool. Red light therapy. I love red light therapy. I use it all the time. Now, the cool part about this is it can actually help um, stimulate tissue repair inside your body, which is really cool, which is why it's powerful. The biggest caveat is a lot of the products on the market, you have to be very careful because you need a certain wattage and you also need a certain amount of near infrared light, which is the 660 to 850 nm. If you have things outside of it, so you really need to watch, like if you're buying things online, that you're getting a quality red light because a lot of times I see people buy stuff and because they're like, this it does this, and it doesn't even have enough to do the things that we want it to do. So this can be really powerful. It can help your body, your mitochondria, all these things work better. So your muscular and physical benefits, you're going to help you basically recover faster. So, especially for if you do have autoimmune, this is beautiful for you. It can help you just feel better. It can help reduce your inflammation and soreness in your body. So, it can help your recovery time get better. Um, Joint healing, soft tissue healing. So, great for like injuries, great for um, the gut, great for the thyroid, great for like if you feel like tight anywhere, sometimes just putting some of that red light on it consistently, not like a one-off, is going to also help keep your body like repairing more efficiently. I'm not gonna say it's gonna like repair everything, but it can help with that healing process. It enhances circulation and oxygen and keeps it delivering to your muscles, which is amazing. And then can help you with longevity, right? Helps you train hard without you feeling burnt out. And so that can be a really powerful recovery tool. Um, and it's something a lot of times what I love about this is there's a lot of home devices. I know we put one like above here earlier that you can do at home. So if you're sitting and doing something, you can literally have it on you without like having you could be doing something else while doing red light, which I love. So there is some like skin, hormone, metabolic benefits. So it can definitely help with skin. So I know that's one of the big things you've probably heard if you've heard of red light. It's like your skin looks better, but it can help with like collagen, elastin. And so you get clear skin. It can help with like repairing the tissues in your skin so you just look smoother and cleaner, better, firmer, right? It really can help support thyroid. It's one of my favorite things for thyroid and Hashis, girlies. If you have that or even an autoimmune, it can be really powerful too. But if you put it on your thyroid, like having it there not like right there, but like 6 to 12 inches away, or your gut. The gut is actually where a lot of hormonal pieces come from, right? And so when our hormones are off, usually the gut is off, and the gut can, using this can help the gut feel better, work better, absorb better, all of that. So huge wins for all of those areas. It can actually help with insulin sensitivity, making you feel better. So it can help your metabolism improve. And it actually can reduce, like I said, like issues in the gut. So if there's like inflammation, if it's not happy, it can actually help support your digestive tract and help your gut has this own little world, this microbiome in it, and you can help that thrive better and keep it healthy, which is really powerful, like I said, for your hormones, but also for us women who do have Hashis, hypothyroid, things like that, adrenal, it can help support the body to work more efficiently and keep your metabolism up. Because when your thyroid's not working, your metabolism tanks. No fun. There's also like you get serotonin, dopamine boost, so you feel better, you get more mental clarity, your mood's so much improved, you get better sleep quality. So, especially if you use this before bed, which is a great thing because it also can calm your body down. That can be super huge. And then it can also help with like brain fog and helping your focus, which again, who doesn't want that? So again, I already said this about the red light and that. Keep that combo. Do not get less than, make sure you're checking if the product doesn't say this, do not get it. Just do not get it because you're probably wasting your money and I hate that. I'd rather you get a quality thing that's going to work than something that is just looks pretty, right? Um, 10 to 15 minutes is all you really need to use this a day. Now, in that area, so if you've got like, I have a smaller one, so I can kind of do like just my thyroid, but then I also do like my gut. So when I'm working, I will put it on my thyroid and I will also put it on my gut at two separate sessions. But 10 to 15 minutes is all you need. If you want a little bit more, you can go 15 to 20. But I would say that doing it daily is going to give you the most bang for your buck. Again, this is not something that you're going to be like, oh, I can do this one time, or like I can do it for a little bit, or like every once in a while. It's something that you want to do consistently to see the benefits. So it's not something you're just going to immediately get the instant gratification. And it's also something you have to keep in. So the body, the face, the thyroid, the gut are going to be huge, huge areas for you. The abdomen, huge areas to help your body. Um, yeah, the biggest cons is, like I said, the market is selling a bunch of junk. So be careful. And then, like I said, you have to use it consistently to really see it. Place like 6 to 8 inches away from you. And just watch if you feel anything like super burny or hot because you don't want it like too close because you'll feel almost not really like a sunburn, but like you'll feel where you're like, ooh, that's a little too close. So just make sure it's a little bit of a distance away, but close enough that we're getting the waves in. Um, all right, grounding, which is amazing. Um, this can be really powerful for your nervous system and your hormones because what grounding does is it keeps you in a place where your body is connected to the earth and to these natural molecules that we want to our body to help us feel really calm, but also really embedded with how we are, we live in a house, we put on shoes, we're living in all of these like fabrics and things like that. And the natural world is what our body thrives on. So the cool part about this is physically, you can help with inflammation. And so your body will react to different things in the environment, right? And so it can help stabilize these molecules, right? Or these reactive molecules, or a lot of times you'll hear them in the sciencey world as like free radicals. And those things can like damage your tissues and make more inflammation in your body. So what this does is it helps improve your circulation, your oxygen flow to get to your muscles to keep those things supported, stabilized, happy, which is huge, right? That's your body, your nervous system being calm and in a non-stress state. It can help with muscle soreness, stiffness, and this is super powerful if you do this, especially first thing in the morning and you can get sunlight in your eyes with grounding. It can help with your melatonin production, your circadian rhythm, and your cortisol rhythms. So this can be super powerful. And it can help with like your HRV, which is a really big marker. If it's super low, your nervous system is not happy and it needs help. So that's where like your wearables, like your Oura Ring, or if you've got a Whoop, or I know that everybody has some, there's a lot of different ones out there, but if your HRV goes low or things like that, it's a really good sign that your body, your nervous system might need a little bit of help and support and recovery. Now, it can also help your nervous system, like less anxiety. It can help you be more calm, which especially when we're living stressed out, any calm we can bring. Um, I said this earlier, but the circadian rhythm, which is really powerful because our body thrives on seeing the the beginning of the day, the light, this space where it helps to, sorry, that didn't make sense. But like you need your circadian rhythm can get thrown off, right? And sometimes you can go to the other end where you're like super tired in the morning and you're wired at night. That's a sign that your cortisol is off and your natural circadian rhythm has been skewed. And if we want to shift that, grounding can be a really powerful thing to get your melatonin production as it should. You get your cortisol regulated where we want it. And so that can be really powerful to help your circadian rhythm because your body uses the sunlight and the earth and the environment, the nature, to help your body do what it's supposed to do. So that can be really powerful. Like I said, it can help bring down cortisol. So you might feel more amazing in the morning and more relaxed at night, which is what we want. Um, your cortisol should be high in the morning because that's like when we want to be alert and alive. And it should lower in the evening because that's when we want to wind down and go to bed. So sometimes if it's flip-flopped, that's a sign that your nervous system and hormones are a little out of balance. Serotonin and dopamine boosts, so you'll feel better, focused, which is really powerful. Now, biggest things you can do is to ground. How? Walking outside in your bare feet. So grass, most people think grass, but it can also be sand, dirt. It can also be concrete. I would say you're gonna get more bang for your buck with like the sand or the dirt or the grass versus the concrete. But if concrete is all you have, use it. Um, if you combine it with the morning sunlight, like we already talked about, it's just gonna help with sleep and your rhythms and keeping everything kind of consistent, which is powerful. Now, indoors, this is the biggest con, and I'll kind of put these together, is with obviously as it gets colder, and like I'm in Colorado Springs right now, and that when it's snowing, you're not gonna see me barefoot in the snow, especially with Raynaud's, because uh, Raynaud's, if you don't know, the blood will literally drain from my fingertips to go to other parts of my body. So I will feel like my fingers or my toes hurt, and they'll turn like purpley and then they'll turn white and the blood is gone. And it feels like hard to explain, but it hurts. And so that would not be a good call for me because I would be hurting very much. So that can be a big con of this because, like, obviously, winter months, cooler months, it may feel more difficult to get outside. Now, the cool part is they do now have grounding mats that you can use in place of that. Or, like, if you're traveling, there's like travel grounding mats that you can use. So that can be a way if you're like, oh, I don't have really a yard or space, or I don't like it is cold, or for me, I know it's like I work out first thing in the morning and then it's like boom, I'm into getting my kids around and do so it's not going to be like, oh, I've got this time to just go stand in the right. So it can be another tool. Um, Obviously, outside is going to be to me the best, but there are other options, which is nice that we have options. So there's grounding mats, or there's also grounding sheets that you can have on your bed, or um, there's also grounding, yeah, sheets, or there's like a grounding, it's not a sheet, but it's like this like layer that you can put over your bed, like lay on top of your sheets and lay on. And that can help a lot. Or you can put it under your desk at work and put your feet on it. So while you're working, you've got that grounding effect going, which is great. So we've got some ways to work around this without having to necessarily be outside. So, travel, same thing. This can actually be really helpful with like jet lag, and if you've got like a lot of travel and going time zones. I know my husband with his military stuff, he struggles with like jet lag, not jet lag, but even like just the time zone changes, even like a couple of hours, it's like you can tell he's thrown off. So this can help a ton with like reducing the inflammation, helping your body recover a little bit better from that. So if you travel a lot, a grounding mat might be really helpful add to your life. Um, like I said, combine it with like morning time, sunshine, and you're golden. You don't have to do it for a long time, 5 to 10 minutes daily. Again, it's gonna work better if you're doing it every single day, not just like one-offs. No surprise. Meditation and breath work. This is huge because it's like helpful for your stress, for your hormones, and it can just help you with handling stress of life and also performing better in your life. So not just the gym, because I will say it will help there, but your business, your work, your just overall life. Now, the cool part is meditation and breath work both will help you go into a parasympathetic state, which allows your nervous system to recover. So one of the best physical benefits is that you are bringing your body out of these fight or flight states and into a place of rest and digest, which is exactly what we want. It can help improve your oxygen. So it enhances your endurance. It can help your cells repair. It can help your body just be in a more harmonious place. Cortisol and adrenaline regulated. So you don't have as much stress on your body and you're bringing down those stressors on your body, which is powerful because something like meditation and breath work you have with you everywhere. Like I'm not carrying my red light with me everywhere, right? Or a grounding mat. It's not with me everywhere, but I always can do these two things anywhere. Which is a powerful, powerful, powerful tool because that means we have this at our grasp at any time. Yay. It can also help with sleep and your hormone production because it's helping keeping, again, your body in a less stressed out state, which is going to get your body ready for bed, sleep better, sleep harder. Supports your digestion and gut brain health because guess what? Stress impacting the gut. And if we're super stressed, that can lead to other issues. The gut can lead to lots of issues in the body. But with that, when we're giving that digestion and all of that support, you are going to feel so much better. Mood's going to be better. You're going to think clearer. You're going to feel more energized. So, bringing the stress, because when your gut's stressed, it stresses out your brain, and your gut and brain work together in tandem. The more stressed out we are, it's just going to impact how we feel. So this can be a really, really powerful tool to bring you out of that. So it can help with like focus, clarity, creativity, which we all need. It can also help with how we regulate our emotions, which is huge because we can respond better and have less of that like reactive, snappy response when we're like, ah, that's not how I really wanted to go about this. I wanted to respond in a better way. So it can help with taking that out of the picture of like that less reactivity piece and also help build more resilience and kind of creating that space for you to almost pause and like not just go, right? Just go with your like whatever flips that impulsive piece or that emotional impulsive part of our brain that will get activated, especially when we're stressed. If we can bring it down with breath work, you can easily, I know we've talked about this before, but like your prefrontal cortex, when it's like this is what we want. But when we get into our emotional brain, basically the prefrontal cortex flips up and now you're in your emotional brain. And this is where we get impulsive, reactive, all of that. So when we can breathe, we actually can bring that prefrontal cortex, which is going to help with planning and logic and just decisiveness. This is going to help you just feel like more of a, like more, I don't want to say normal human. It's the wrong way to put it, but like feel more calm, right? And feel more in control versus when we go here. It can help with like anxiety. If you have that rumination where you just can't stop, that can actually help. Meditation and breathwork can help teach you how to manage and quiet it. And again, get you into that parasympathetic rest and digest happy place. Keeps serotonin and dopamine balanced. So you have better mood, motivation, we feel better. And then it can also be a really powerful tool to be in tune with yourself and your body. And that can be the hardest part about meditation and breath work is they often feel really boring. Or very hard because especially like I said at the beginning, if we're go, 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 and we feel almost like guilt or shame if we stop. Something like breath work and meditation can almost feel like we're fighting our stress addiction on our body that it wants to be like, let's go, let's go, let's go. To it feels uncomfortable. So breath work and meditation, especially at the beginning, can feel really uncomfortable. And I think one of the biggest things is it's one of those things that compounds over time and like we don't get instant gratification from. But on the end, of all of this is it also can really help when those thoughts are rampaging, and it can help us learn how to manage them. But we have to be able to sit in this discomfort, because it's learning not to, because people think meditation is like, I should then have no thoughts, right? And that's not the reality of meditation at all. You are going to have lots and lots and lots of thoughts. If I told you how many thoughts you have a day, there's no way you're just going to be blank. Like when you're meditating, you're just going to sit there and no thought's going to run through your mind. No, you're going to have Patricia being like, hey, do 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 do. And our goal in meditation is to not allow the brain to entertain it. So it's giving it space to say whatever, do whatever, and we're just letting it be, which is can be a challenge, right? Because we're like, oh, I need to entertain this thought. Oh, I need to entertain that. Oh, oh, oh. And that's why breathwork and meditation can work really powerfully together because it's allowing yourself to almost like see the thought. I know you're not seeing the thought, but like see it. Like you can be like cool, but also just being like, all right, that's like let it be, let it go. And of course, there's other like there's guided meditations. There's like guided like visualizations, there's, guided gratitude ones. Those can be really helpful at first just to like get you set up. Like YouTube, there's so many. So if you are in that place where you're like, I want to start meditating, but I don't know where to start, you don't need to do these like 30-minute sessions. It can be 5 minutes, it can be 2 minutes, it can be like when you're just sitting in the car, waiting for pickup. It can be in between like meetings. It can be, you know, after you work out. It could be before you work out. I'd say after. Um, but those things can be really powerful. And then there's lots of different ways to do breath work. I love doing more of a box breathing method, and there's different box breathing methods. There's some for like a 4-7-8 or a 4-8-8. You can do whatever clicks in your brain better, but like you inhale through your nose for 4, you hold that breath for 8 whole seconds, and then you exhale through your nose if possible. If that feels too hard, you can breathe out through your mouth like you're blowing out a candle. So really slow and steady for 8. So 4 inhale, 4-second inhale, 8-second hold, 8-second exhale. And do that 10 times, brings your body into a parasympathetic state. There's also like a 5-second inhale and a 5-second exhale, no hold. There can also be like a 4 inhale, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4. There's a lot of different breathing strategies out there, but this can be really powerful for, if you are feeling super stressed in the middle of the day, breathe. Like that would be the first thing. And not just like that's actually stressing out your body that way, but really doing it in a way that like calm, and it's not going to be calm at first. That's okay if at the beginning it feels like your body's kind of fighting you, but you should start to notice this almost like like this. I call it the exhale where your body almost sighs and it's like release. So that can be powerful. The hardest part is it can feel really boring, like I said, or we feel like we're doing it wrong because we think there's like this certain way about meditation. Like we could do a whole thing of these on meditation, like how to do it really powerfully. Um, but like the biggest thing is like I would start slow, start small, just 5 minutes, or do, like I said, like a guided meditation, or even just start with breath work. Those things can be really, really powerful to just get like this is something that, like I said, you have on you all the time. That can be such a powerhouse thing because, like I said, it can help you sleep better. It can help your responses be better, help your body be calmer. And then something I think we think about is like our training outwardly, but this is one of those really powerful internal training tools, like training you to not be reactive, to just allow things to be and almost observe, and also to get yourself into a more calm state. So, can be really powerful. You can do it pre-workout. Um, I personally, I don't want to feel super calm. I just that's personal. Before I work out, I like in the way, you know, in the morning, I've got my jams on and I'm getting like, let's get amped up. I don't do pre-workout or anything like that. So it's like my music is fueling my soul. I don't want to like get in a really calm state before I work out, but after a workout could be really powerful. If you're feeling super stressed from work and you almost need to bring yourself down before you go train, absolutely. I'm not saying you can't do it pre-workout. My brain just sharing my own thoughts. Just think about it. Just think about it. Massages, super powerful. Um, for physical, obviously, but neurological and hormonal. And I could even say emotional connection as well. I don't think I put that in here, but it can help you like reconnect to your body, but also there is a piece with physical touch, right? That is really powerful. Like we definitely, like hugs or um a weighted blanket or um cozy blankets. Sometimes that physical touch piece can be actually really powerful. So even though the massage is, we know there's so many benefits just like physically for, relaxation, all of that, but the connective piece of like being touched can actually be really powerful to calm your body. So benefit there. It can definitely help with like your blood flow and then your nutrients getting absorbed and just delivered better. So it can help speed up muscle recovery and help with like reducing your soreness. It can help your lymphatic system just drain better. So your lymphatic system will detox your body. And so it can help reduce water retention, things like that in your body, just keep things moving more effectively. If you've got like mobility issues or range of motion, massagers can be really great to help kind of like get some of those tighter muscles relaxed and help you have a lot more range of motion and feel better. Um, and definitely can help with like your training, especially when we're training hard. I would say massages are almost that self-care piece. I'd also even add in like chiropractic care can be really powerful if you're putting a lot of heavy loads, like if you're squatting with heavy weight on your back. I know some people have hit or miss with chiropractors, but that can be really powerful to just keep your body really happy too. But it can help with like injuries and keep your tissues in your body more aware and the elasticity better. So you're just, like I said, recovering better, which is huge. And then it will absolutely help you feel really calm, help reduce chronic stress. So can actually bring you into that, again, the parasympathetic, the rest and digest state. It really puts your body into a deep, deep recovery mode, which is huge. And then it can help, obviously, if we're in this really calm, beautiful energy, you're gonna sleep better, your hormones are better. We've calmed the nervous system down. So your body's like, yes, huh. Like we have that sigh of our body, that exhale that's like, this is what we needed, right? So it can actually really help with like promote a lot of calmness in your body, but that, like I said, that connection is so powerful. Like physical touch is really powerful. And a lot of times people afterward just feel really relaxed and happy. So like you've got serotonin and dopamine and oxytocin just like just coming in. Um, Now, there's a lot of different types of massagers out there. I would say probably the best three. Like you got to do what's best for you because everybody's different. Like I love a deep tissue massage. I want somebody to be like in there. That's really great for just keeping releasing tension. Um, Really powerful for like recovery, especially for athletes. Now, there's also sports massages, which can be really great for like helping performance optimization. Um, I would say personally, I don't do that. I do more of the deep tissue on like a rest day when I can like give, because it's basically like working out your whole body. So you definitely need to hydrate on this. You definitely need to take care of like, you might feel more sore. Um, that can be huge. The lymphatic draining, there's very specific ones for that, but that can help like with water retention and puffiness, and it can help reduce inflammation. I wouldn't say this isn't one that we everybody needs, but it might be something that like you may try once in a while just to keep your body. But this might be another thing where like the sauna could be really beneficial with a massage to kind of keep where you wouldn't have to do the lymphatic and massage. You could maybe do the sauna for that plus a massage to kind of like keep it together. Cupping, gua sha can help with actually like circulation. And then foam rolling, right? Which is huge. Foam rolling massage guns can be really powerful in between massage sessions to keep you feeling good. So, that's the cool part is I know we think like we have to go get a massage, but even things like foam rolling and mobility work can actually help support in between, or if you're not able to go get a massage, can help calm your body down and relax it. The biggest thing that can happen, cons to watch for, is for sure can be pricey depending on how often you go. And depending if you get the same person every time or if you get a different person, your body might want slash need a type of massage. I've gotten plenty of massages where I told you I want you to be like in, and they're like, barely. I'm like, no, go, come on. So that can definitely maybe not leave you as like how you want to feel. So if you find somebody, keep them. Um, Now the only other bad thing is getting massages regularly can start to cause more like dependency on them. And then we stop using things like foam rolling and, stretching and like mobility work, where that can be a really powerful addition with massages. So our body's not dependent on like outsourcing it to somebody else to help with that. So I like always having power in my corner, and so things like the foam rolling, things like even the massage gun, things like mobility work can help support that. Bi-weekly, oh, I meant bi-monthly. I apologize. Bi-weekly, that's being nice. Bi-monthly or a monthly session would be amazing. And then supplement with like the foam rolling. Or like the massage gun could be really powerful too. Um, Use it to, like I said, um, really have that physical touch, because that can actually help release a lot of stored stress in the body, and it helps remind your body that it's like, hey, you're safe, you're good, you can grow, you can repair, you can go thrive, and we've got you. So that's really powerful when you think about like just all of those pieces combined. But like I said, don't, if it's not in the budget, things like foam rolling can be really helpful and powerful. And a foam roller you can get super cheap on Amazon. Now, active recovery, I kind of was talking about this a little bit too, but same thing with like keeping your body happy, but like this helps with circulation. It can help speed up recovery, help with the DOMS, so it can reduce soreness if you're feeling super sore. It can help your joints. It can help flexibility. It can make you feel smoother. And when we feel better, we tend to not have as many injuries, which is powerful. It can help with lymphatic drainage too, which amazing. So water retention decreased, inflammation can be decreased. And then it can also help with like movement quality in our workouts, which is powerful. Because like especially with form, with if your shoulders are rounding forward, that can be just like your traps are overactive and your shoulders are trying to like do its thing. So it's like learning that like, hey, I can help my posture, I can help these things kind of calm down. Um, and then, of course, if those areas are more like posture is better, those areas are not so tight, it can help our muscles and our mind muscle activation be even better. Huge. So more gains in the gym. Yay. Yay. It can also help bring you down into calming your nervous system. It can help create a lot of awareness with your body because it can help you to see like, wow, I didn't realize my like lats were really tight, or I didn't realize I was so tight in my upper like back, or I didn't realize my quads, you start to almost become like really aware of like, ooh, wow, I didn't realize this was so tight, or I didn't realize this was holding a lot of that um stiffness. And that could be something that just helps us, one, feel better, like I said, mind muscle connection better, and then you can feel and move with better intention, which is powerful. And then, of course, it can help with like your training, um, just keep you feeling better, especially if you're feeling more burnt out. This can help kind of calm your body. And then, of course, can help just keep you feel good without being really exhausted. And things you can do. So I'm adding in like walking, incline walks, treadmill, stuff like that, and other active recovery pieces because the goal isn't like more is better. We don't want to just overdo things, but it can be like a powerful addition. So using low intensity cardio can be beautiful, like walking, powerful. Using things like yoga, stretching, mobility work, Pilates, those can all be really powerful additions to help, again, keep your body feeling really loose, feeling it like, again, really aware of like where your body's tight, where you might be pulling. Foam rolling, again, I kind of put it with massaging, but like foam rolling would probably really go here. And that foam rolling, and also like sometimes you'll see people use like tennis balls or like harder balls or like things like this that can be really, really powerful to like put in certain areas to kind of hold where like especially like your hip, like there's like a little dimple in your hip, putting that right there and like sitting laying on it can actually be really powerful. Um Releases stuff. So this can be really helpful a couple times a week, or if you're feeling really tight, maybe toward the beginning, more opportunities like 4 or 5 times a week, or if you have an injury, this would be one where you might want to do it more consistently. But typically, like 2 to 3 times a week, 1 to 2 times a week is usually really powerful. And using them like after a really heavy session. So I will do stuff like this after my leg day. Um, to help with soreness, or on rest days to kind of keep where my body has a little bit more recovery time and all of that too. Um, we need to keep things low intensity. This is not something where we're trying to do yoga, do the walks, do all this thing to just add calorie burn. And that's what I think a lot of times people do. Like, okay, well, if I can't just have a rest day, I have to be doing something active. And the reality is like on my rest days, um, I don't do anything crazy. I will do, well, right now in my program, I have cardio, but like typically when I'm not where I'm at currently, I'd be just walking. And so that is something to remind yourself too. It's like we're not doing this to just put out more calorie expenditure because I think that's what people, again, it goes back to if I'm not doing something, then I need to be doing something. I'm not productive, right? So be careful that we're not trying to overdo the cardio, overdo steps, overdo going high intensity or trying to add all this extra stuff in to burn more because it's like an active rest day. It's like, hey, we don't earn our rest days. Rest is where you grow. Like rest is where your body repairs itself so the muscle can grow. So if we keep hammering it down, the body's like, I have no time to just like, come on, give me a break. And then if your body will say, you're sick, you're down, go. And that's not what we want either. We want to stay feeling good and keeping it really powerful. I think I went through, yeah. Um, yeah. Yeah, not gonna repeat it. This is probably one of the most important ones. We're getting near the end, but sleep. Sleep is probably the most important. most powerful recovery tool you have. And it's often the one that does get sacrificed. And it's because it's probably the easiest to control. Because we get to choose when we wake up, we get to choose when we go to bed, we can push, 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 push. And I know personally, I've always struggled with, I pretty much don't stop. Um, like from the time I wake up my eyes, wake up my body, until the time I go to bed, pretty much I have like 30 minutes to an hour before when I go to bed. That is my like time. And that time, because it's like that's when my kids are in bed, that's when like I feel like the world has stopped and I don't necessarily have anything I have to be doing at that moment. And in the past, I know I've been like, ooh, 5 more minutes. And then like an hour later, I'm still up and I'm not getting and prioritizing sleep. But sleep is where your body rebuilds your muscle, where it helps your hormones be happy and balanced, where you're restoring not just your gut, your brain, your whole body. Fat loss here happens. So without quality sleep, all the other tools are basically working at like half power. We're trying to put like a band-aid on a cement crack, right? We're like, oh, I'm not sleeping, but I'm going to add in red light, where it's like, no, if I had to choose the one for you to focus on, and that's why I added it in here because I know everybody's like, this is not a recovery tool. Give me all the things, right? But this, without this in check, everything else is like you're not going to get the most bang for your buck. So start here. You don't have to start here, but in my recommendation, starting here will be the most powerful. So it's going to help with like physical benefits, testosterone, growth hormone, which both need for muscle and muscle repair and fat loss. So those hormones get happy, but it's helping your body keep things in a balanced, right? It's also helping with protein muscle synthesis and your glycogen replenishment, which is going to help your training, right? Performance and also muscle growth. Um, Improves insulin sensitivity. So we're not having all these cravings, we're not having blood sugar swings, we're not having these crazy moments of like severe bloat and stuff like that, because it's going to help your body composition stay more level. Help with reduced inflammation and also help with reduced injury. Because if your body is recovered, you're going to feel better, your energy is going to be better, you're going to be more connected to your body. And when we're tired, when we're fatigued, that's where we can make silly little mistakes just in our life. It can also help your immune system, right? So this is helping fewer colds, you're healing faster, you're repairing better, your muscles are repairing better. You'll notice you just have more growth. You're going to feel better. And that's what we want. Hormonal, you're basically keeping everything super happy. When you sleep, this does impact, like if your sleep is off, we've all been there where we slept like awful. And then you're like, all I want is chocolate chip cookies all day, right? Real. Because now your body is looking for quick energy. And so it's like, give me the cookies because it knows cookies are going to give me quick energy because we're tired. And so when your body sleeps, your cortisol happier. Your ghrelin, which is ghrelin and leptin are your hunger hormones. And so leptin is where you're satiated, where you're like, ah, yes, that meal, yay, that felt good. That is what we want. But what happens is ghrelin is our, think like a gremlin, like our, that's our hunger hormone that's like, feed me, feed me now. And so when ghrelin is super high, that's where we have a lot of cravings. And so when we get better sleep, our mood is better, our hunger hormones are more stabilized, even in a deficit. And then, we feel better, we train better, it just ripple effect, right? We think better, we perform better, we're more productive during the day, we do more. So we just win. everywhere. It improves your focus, your memory. It helps sharpen all the decision making in your life. So you're, again, more productive, more efficient, right? Which is huge. So important for us with autoimmune, thyroid issues, 100%. It helps your nervous system reset. When you don't get enough sleep, your nervous system is like on fire and it's like help me, and we just like no, sleep less. Throw some more caffeine on the fire, right? Throw all this extra stuff that's actually not supporting what your body really needs. It can really help with hormones, and the funny part is I know a lot of ladies um, with perimenopause, menopause, sleep issues do arise because of how our hormones are fluctuating. And that can feel very frustrating when all you want to do is sleep. So, prioritizing some pieces can help. And of course, there's always other options if you are perimenopausal to help with sleep. That can be something that can always add to it. Example, there is some supplementation you can use. There is also ways that you can use, like tart cherry juice at night can help cool your body down. Because I know sometimes the hot flashes and things like that. There's also like Pergest E oil that can help kind of get you into a deeper sleep. Glycine, magnesium glycinate. Those types of things can actually really help. They're not going to be miracle workers, but they can help. And so I know that can be a beast for you ladies who may be going through perimenopause or menopausal. There's also HRT and things like that that you can always lean into as well. So if those are things, like definitely talk to your doctor. They can also be a supportive piece there too. But it also can, obviously, when we sleep better, we are not as we're feeling, like we said, everything's better, our energy's better, mood's better. And so then we're less reactive. We perform better because, like, even if there's high pressure, high stakes, high stress, it's like we navigate it so much more smoothly than when you have no sleep. It just feels like everything is like fire, fire, fire. And you're like, ah. So keeping that piece can be really powerful. Um, so sleep hygiene, biggest things you can do before bed that can really help get better quality sleep, better sleep. Keeping your room dark. So like blackout curtains, powerful. Really quiet as much as possible, no light. I know sometimes people like sleeping with TVs on and stuff like that, but that light can actually keep you in a lighter sleep and not get into that restorative sleep. Keeping your house cool, so keeping it like 65. Um, I'd say 65 to 70, but typically they're finding that like even 60 to 65 is way better. You sleep deeper, and keeps your body in a better restorative state. So cool temperatures at night are going to keep you sleeping better. Um, Having a wind down routine, like, or a pre-bed routine where it's like you follow these, like your body starts to realize like, oh, we do this every single night. We must be going to bed. Let's start winding down. So a lot of it can be things that like calm you down. So it could be like doing some mobility work if you want to do it then, do some red light therapy, maybe do some breath work, take your supplements, and then you go to bed, right? And maybe you like, wash your face, brush your teeth, all of that. So it's like this systematic thing you do every night. Like that's a little bedtime routine that keeps your body in a place of like, this is what we do, right? This is how we do it. That helps so much. Like I said, your body loves systems and routines and structure. So it's like, oh, it starts to realize like, oh, we're going to bed. So this is where we need to start bringing down the body. Huge. Um, Digital detox. So off your phones, off the TV, which I know can be what happens at night. That blue light from your phone, from your TV impacts and suppresses your melatonin. So that keeps you more alert and awake. And now you're like, hey, now I feel like I could stay up and watch another episode. Hey, now I feel like I could stay up and just hang out. Where we need to tell our body it's time to go to bed. So if you are going to do those things before bed, the best thing would be cut it out, right? Like doing some of the other things like mobility work or um, red light therapy or like just like breathing or, maybe it's some stretching. That can help bring your body down already, calm your body down, keep you in more of that sympathetic state, parasympathetic state, and then you can kind of go to bed better. But if you are going to be on your phone or you're watching TV, use like blue light glasses because that can help at least keep the melatonin because that light is specifically telling your body to wake up. And that can mess with, again, your circadian rhythm and then can mess with your cortisol because it's like, hey, we're supposed to be calming and winding down, and the brain is seeing the light, and the light's like, oh, we need to wake up, like time to get up. So that's why the blue light, it's not that like your phone is bad or the watching a show is bad. It's just that it's starting to mess with how your body naturally functions. So put on some of those glasses if you're going to be on those things, just to let your body not get that light and give it the chance to wind down as much as possible. I'd say 30 minutes before bed. If you can't do an hour, do 30 minutes, or if anything, 20, 15. If you can do at least breaking it slowly, can be a really powerful start. Not drinking caffeine. I didn't add that in here, but like stop drinking caffeine in the afternoon. That can impact your sleep. And even people who are like, I do really great with caffeine. I know. My husband and I are both those people that I can have caffeine and then go right to sleep. But I promise you, you're not getting as deep or quality sleep as you could if you cut it out. Um, Other things, just getting a 7 to 9 hours. If you can get that really consistently, you're gonna see a lot of power come to your body. You're gonna feel better, perform better in all aspects of life. But something that can be challenging is keeping a really consistent bedtime and a wake up time. Because I know a lot of times um, that can help your body just keep in a rhythm and again keep that beautiful like melatonin or even your cortisol like doing its thing where it's like wake up, hi, all right, we need to wind down. It helps your body kind of stay on a rhythm and a consistency, like a schedule, and it really likes that for efficiency. It knows what to expect, it knows when to shut it, it's like time to shut it down, so it keeps things really consistent. Now, I will say it can be harder, especially if you are like me, you get up really early to work out, and then the weekend you might have a little bit more opportunity to sleep in. This is where start watching, listening to your body. If you can make those adjustments, it can be really powerful. If you want to get more sleep or need more sleep, I would say get more sleep. But do know it can mess with like, if you sleep in on the weekend and then you have to get back on Monday. Monday can feel harder. The first couple days back can feel a little harder because your body's like, we're out of whack. We're not in this consistent routine. So just something to think about. Cons. This is often the hardest to fix because, like I said, a lot of times the nighttime is where the world shuts down and calms down and quiet, and you can actually be like, "Ooh, this is me time," right? And that's where we can just stay up and kind of forget to go to bed. Very real. Set timers, even if it's like I call it the like 15-minute rule, 5-minute rule, whatever you need, where it gives you an opportunity because sometimes that alarm goes off and you're like, I wasn't ready for the alarm to go off to go to bed or like start getting ready for bed, start that wind down routine. So even if you need to set like almost like, hey, a 15-minute, it could be 10, it could be 5, whatever you need, of like, hey, we're gonna, your alarm, your real one is gonna go off here soon, but this is like a warning. So you can wrap up whatever you're doing if you're reading a book or if you are watching a show, it just gives you like, okay, hey, I might want to stop here because soon I'm gonna have to stop and it's getting to a really intense part and I know my brain isn't gonna just shut down. Or I know for me, when I read at night, I'm like, 5 more minutes. And then 5 minutes is like 30 or 40 or an hour or sometimes more. So I need something to signal like shut it down because like in my mind I'm like, yeah, that was like 5 minutes and I'm an hour later. Just kidding. So that can be really, really powerful. Um, Other things that like I didn't say, I did say the blackout curtains and we talked about grounding. Those can be really helpful for sleep. Mouth tape. If you especially sometimes when we're super stressed out, we'll notice that at night you'll open your mouth and be breathing through your mouth. Anytime during the day that you're not breathing through your nose, but you're like this, your body's in a stressed out state. Like, think of when you're working out and you're like breathing really hard and you're breathing through your mouth, your body's in a stressed out state. Surprise. Now, the mouth tape, what it can do is keep your mouth closed, which can help in a lot of things, like help your jaw. It can help you breathe through your nose. So it keeps one oxygen and carbon dioxide where it should be. It can help your heart rate. It can help your body de-stress because you're keeping your mouth closed. And a lot of people realize or don't even realize that they are mouth breathers. And that's adding, it's telling your body if you're mouth breathing all the time that you are in a constant state of stress. And so again, if we can basically there's some on Amazon, you can get fancy, you can get real simple. I think mine was like $10, but like you can tape your mouth at night and it can just help you have better quality deep sleep. So if you, especially if you notice like your throat's really dry in the morning or you wake up or you're snoring, things like that can actually really be a powerful tool to get better quality sleep. Um, yeah. Caffeine, screen, stress can actually just not help your sleep and can really keep everything else down. I would say, if anything, protect your sleep like your life and your next lift depends on it because it does. Um, what we want to do is teach our body, and this whole sleep like routine that I was talking about is creating like a space where it's like, hey, you're safe, we're done, you're good, we're going to go into recovery mode. And it's teaching your body, like, this is what we do every night. So I can get the best, most restorative sleep possible. Um, and you, and sleep is going to impact your nervous system, your hormones, your emotional health, your cellular health, your physical health. Everything gets impacted by this. So, things like I said, magnesium glycinate, glycine, mouth taping, using red light before bed can be a really great way to bring your body down. A cold room, blackout curtains, you can get some really powerful sleep. All right, nutrition. I threw this in here. I know most of us are like, we think about nutrition as more of like a fat loss tool, but it is so powerful for obviously like building muscle, for recovering, even if we're in a deficit or we're in a maintenance phase or in a surplus. Fuel is going to be, it's not just about calories or not just about macros, it's also about your micronutrients, right? The vitamins, the minerals, the electrolytes you're getting through your food. So it can help rebuild your muscle tissue. It can help make sure you're getting in enough um, proteins so that we are being able to rebuild, recover the muscle. It's going to help your glycogen stores, and we need carbs. Carbs are our fuel source for training. And if we're not getting enough carbs, our training can definitely feel like bleh. Um, you're just not going to have good training output. You'll notice you'll probably regress in weight and you can't really push or progressive overload, which is huge. You really want to make sure that, like with our nutrition, we're getting in a lot of micronutrients. So it's helping keep your body and your gut really happy. And when your gut's happy, your brain's happy and your body's happy. So nutrition is a really powerful tool that we use all the time. Like, I don't care who you are, right now, you're using your nutrition to help you feel good. Um, it supports hydration and electrolyte balance and can help you just not get cramps or feel really fatigued or tired. And it can keep your blood sugar really stable, which again, helps your mood, your energy, and all of that. Now, what it also does is it can really help your sex hormones. Like healthy fats are so essential, not just for like because they're yummy or they're delicious. I have plenty of clients who are like, you could take away like 20 more grams of fat. And it's like, but we need it for our hormones. And not just for our hormones, but for absorption of food. If you're not getting enough fats, your body's probably not actually absorbing all of the nutrients you're taking in. And so you may be left with some nutrient deficiencies, or you might just not be feeling as good or powerful because your body isn't getting what it needs. So fats are not just like, oh, yay, they taste good, or oh, whatever. It's like they are needed to help your body run effectively. And carbs are the same way. They give us energy, they give us quicker energy than fats. Um, and like carbs are going to be a lot more of your fruits and veggies and things like that, which give you all of these beautiful micronutrients, right? All the vitamins, minerals, things like that. So do fats, also proteins. That's why they're all so important because every single one you need you need all of them in order to get a well-rounded thing because you're not going to get a ton of iron from, carbs. You're going to get that through your proteins. So watching those things can be really powerful. Now, it can also help with like better sleep. Obviously, you can do some carbs and carbs and even a little bit of fat, a little bit of protein before bed can actually help your body. Carbs help your body de-stress. So putting carbs after your workout, before your workout can help your body stay more even, and help it de-stress and let it know it's safe, which is really powerful. Again, keeping your body really happy. Um, they also will help your hormones, like your growth hormone, which will signal things to grow. And then like IGF-1, which is the builder that carries out that growth hormone signal to your tissues to be like, we are good, we are well fed, and we're gonna go do our thing and repair and grow, which really powerful if you think about it. So all of this is like we get better energy, reduced stress, we are feeling better, and that's where our body's gonna thrive is when our nutrition is on point. So these are nothing new for you ladies, but I figured we were going to say it anyway. Protein, keeping 25 to 40 grams per meal minimum, and use this as your starting point for every single plate. I always call it the P2. Your protein and your plant should be your starting factor every single meal. And so when we're looking at that, your fruits, your veggies, those are plants, that's where we want to think eat the rainbow. Get lots of fruits and veggies and whole foods. Because if we can get like 3 to 5 different colors a day, you're going to be getting a lot of different vitamins and nutrients through your food. If we're eating all greens all day, we're not really getting as much diversity. And then that also can impact your gut because the more that your gut can handle, the healthier your body. So that's super powerful. Carbs, if we can prioritize those around your training. So pre-lift, post-lift are going to be the most bang for your buck for performance and recovery. There's also um, keeping your carbs there and at night are going to be probably your biggest powerhouses. Fats, like I said, we want them for hormonal health, for nutrient absorption, but we definitely don't want to put these before a workout, like a lot of fats. Now, if you're having like a normal meal 2 hours before, you're golden, you're fine. But if you're having like something an hour to 30 minutes before your workout, don't want a lot of fats because that is going, especially if you work out first thing in the morning, the best thing to do would just be like protein, carbs, and keep the fat as low as possible so that your body is getting those things as quick as possible. Fats are going to slow everything down, right? Because that's what they do. They actually like slow things down. And so they can also sit really heavy in your stomach before a workout, which I don't think anybody wants. I don't think you do either. And then hydrate. 100 ounces every day. More would be better. 80 would be like my bare minimum. If we're getting under 80 ounces a day, you're most likely getting more dehydrated and your body's not going to feel as good. And you can actually get more hunger cues because of it too. Now, biggest thing with nutrition is we've talked about this before, but I'm going to say it again. We are not supposed to live in a deficit. Under eating isn't discipline, right? I know it can feel like really powerful being in a deficit. We love that like instant gratification. We love the grind. We know it. It's very familiar. But when we look at it, we don't want to be living in that space because we can get like, we might not get as many nutrients. We might not feel as good. That's not what we want. We want to be able to fuel our body to grow and be this powerhouse in and out of the gym, in life and out. Um, really continue to, your macros are there for a reason. I know sometimes it's like, oh, it doesn't matter. And you'll see even people online who are like, oh, it doesn't matter. But your macros all serve a very important role in your body. And same with micronutrients. So being like, well, I don't like fats or I don't want carbs or, I don't really like protein. It can impact how you feel and how you want your body to look, and ultimately also how you perform. So, everything that we do really does matter. And it's not like I need you to be like a crazy lady, right? But it's also something to really realize like with foods you're eating, just step back and start to notice like, how do I feel after this? Am I feeling energized? Am I feeling sluggish? Am I feeling good to go? All of that. It can be a really good way to just check in on you and your body. All right, I think this is the last one. Yeah, we're almost there. I'm sorry, this is so beefy and long. I told you at the beginning. Emotional and social recovery, which I think is also something we don't really think about with recovery. We're thinking again about more tools, right? Things we can go buy. But what the biggest thing we have to remember is that our emotional state will also drive our physical state. I know you've been there where you've had high emotions and then it's like everything feels like it's off. Your body feels more tired. Your sessions feel more heavy. Your cravings are all over the place. And the biggest thing with like this piece, emotional and social recovery, is when we're super stressed out, if we're not connecting, if we're not finding joy, if we're not finding um, these beautiful places within ourselves or with others, you're going to get burnt out and your body is going to respond because, like I said, your emotional state is going to drive your physical state. And so if you're mentally like, rah, that is going to impact your body. It makes sense. So, what we want to do is start creating an environment where your body can feel really safe and thrive and be really, I want to say happy, but like I don't think we are just we create happiness. We don't just be happy, but I would say balanced or calm or um peaceful in a sense of like it's not just grind, 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 grind. There's this place where we're filling up our cup. So the biggest thing with like this piece is we want connection, we want joy, we want laughter, we want memories, we want, right? Huge. And it's so important. And sometimes this is a piece where we're like, I probably should skip that or I don't want to do that. So obviously, anytime we're getting a lot of beautiful pieces through this. So we want to think my hormones are going to be improved because when I'm happier and not stressed, that's going to make my body work more efficiently. My nervous system is going to be calmer. My digestion is going to be better. I'm going to absorb nutrients better. My body's calm. My metabolism is going to be even better, right? So the more stressed out, we're like, stressed, add more, add more, add more. And it's like, what if we didn't? What if we pulled back? Um, it can help reduce cravings and keep emotional eating more balanced. Um, we can also look at like your cortisol lower, your adrenaline is lower, you're feeling better even in a fat loss phase. Even with like everything, we're gonna obviously put anytime we're like happy and in our like element and we're just having a good time or making memories, you just automatically like, oh, this is amazing. You feel it. Your body is in prime rest and digest state, and it's going to work more optimally when it's there. Um, Oxytocin and endorphins, especially with like laughter, touch, connection, it's such a powerful part of being human, and it improves like who we are and our resilience, and it allows our bodies and our brains to recover from the constant stress we have. Because, like, this world that we live in is constant go, 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 stress, stress, stress. And backing off and taking that time can be really powerful. Um, Obviously, joy, motivation, positive emotions amplify just consistency in your life and keeping you energized and feeling good. And when you feel supported, right, you show up stronger, whether that's with your coach, because I know not everybody in your life is going to be super supportive. Like my personal immediate family, like my, not my hubs and my kids, but like my mom and my dad and my brothers, sister, they don't get it. They don't really get it. And they don't necessarily say anything bad, but they just are like, what? Why can't you eat this? And I'm like, I can. I'm choosing not to because I know it's going to make me feel bad and that's not worth it to me. And so we're just at different places. But like my hubs is super supportive. My coach, super supportive. Team, super supportive because that allows me to really show up in a much better space. I have someone to talk through, brain problem, problem solve through, think through things, chat through all the things. So I'm not having to figure it out on my own. So that can be such a huge part of this because when your body's happy, everything's happy. So biggest thing to do is, thinking through some pieces, connection, like scheduling time with, people you love and who light you up. If people drain you, they might not be the right people for this. I'm not saying that they shouldn't be or they can't be, but watch how people's different energy makes you feel. Schedule coffee dates or schedule walks or call somebody if you're feeling lonely and you need connection, huge. You can also be the uplifter. Like you can go to the grocery store and just give somebody a compliment with, not expecting anything in return, but just giving as well can be really such a feel good or helping somebody out feel good. But there's a place too where people are like chronic helpers and they help other people, and then they don't help themselves. So this is also a moment to check in with self and say like, hey, what do I need right now? Like, what do I need to make sure I'm taken care of? Because it might not be to go help everybody with all their things. It might be like helping you with your things. So that goes with boundaries. Like setting some boundaries to protect yourself from overcommitting to those kinds of things or negativity. There are certain people in your life you work with, whoever, that drain your energy or they have a lot of negative energy, and you're like, I need to put a little bit of a boundary here. And boundaries aren't meant to like keep people out. What it actually is, it's like I build this fence, right? And that's my boundary. But the fence also has a gate, and the gate allows you to stay in. But I also have very specific ways that I'm going to do that and not tolerate other things. So it's not a way to keep people out. It's a way to say, like, hey, this is how I want to operate in this relationship to operate. And this is how I let you operate, right? So it's allowing people boundaries and guidelines for how, and more for yourself. It's not for other people to respect your boundaries, it's for you to respect your boundaries. Um, Joy, doing things that light you up. Like for me, I love to read, I love to journal, I love to go on walks. I love music. My son and I this morning were laughing because we were talking about spider monkeys, and he was talking about, I was talking about the fringe, like the hair on the spider monkeys, and he heard me say French. And so he's like, French monkeys? And then we went down this like giggle fest of like ridiculousness. And so that kind of stuff, like play, even as an adult, we sometimes would like stop that, but like play, be silly, laugh. Joy is such a powerful emotion and something we need more of. Um, Reflecting, like I said, journaling, gratitude journaling, um, writing down your wins, having moments where you just pause and are at peace. Like you're not thinking about the future, you're just where your feet are. Um, Music, art, creating. I love to like when I have just oodles of time. Um, but I do. I love to craft. So things like that, being creative, being in nature, being out and about, doing things that light you up, do it. And it doesn't have to be one thing. This can be a really great thing to keep a list of and just have in your back pocket or your phone, just so you're ready to go. People often neglect this because it doesn't feel productive. And they feel like, oh, I got to make sure everybody else is good and I'm not going to worry about me. And that's where I see people go wrong. They need to worry about them because if you're not, we've all heard it. You can't pour for an empty cup and you don't earn rest, right? What we think is like, I got to do all these things to earn my time off. When it's like, no, you just need to give yourself those things. You're allowed to without earning it. Like we don't have to earn these things. So it can be like your body will push you down. You will get burnt out. You will get sick. And when your body's like, no more, like you haven't taken care of us. And that's like a huge sign that we're not paying attention to our body. So when you get that place, be careful because it's like when you get, or if you're getting sick a whole bunch, be real careful because your hormonal system and your nervous system are under attack like crazy. So laughter, joy, love, connection, touch, those are recovery. Those are recovery. Use them. Use them. Um, and the more you can fill your life where things just light you up and you're just intentional, where it's not like, even just how we think about things or look at things, it's like, oh, I have to do this. I have to do this. Or it's like, oh man, I get to do this. I get to cook for my family. And that's such a beautiful thing. Finding the beauty in every little piece of your life or the small wins can be really powerful because your body is always listening to you. It's always listening. And I think that's the biggest thing is like, whatever we're telling it, whatever we're giving it, it's listening. And like, again, if we're constantly in that stressed out addiction loop, this is going to feel harder. And this is something that it's to me, it's like an art of coming home to yourself. It's like being your most authentic self and just having this space of like complete, like just being, like just being without this expectation of having to do or grind or whatever. Um, so we're gonna wrap this up with a couple more pieces. I promise it'll be quicker. Um, but if you're wanting more physical recovery, so this is kind of just a snapshot, sauna, massage, mobility are going to be really powerful movers if you just need some physical, like your body is feeling worn down. Um, if your nervous system is feeling, might need some recovery and need a little love, things like cold plunge, breath work, grounding can be really, really powerful. Red light therapy also can be really powerful here. Meditation, stuff like that. Hormonal recovery is going to be sleep, nutrition, red light. Those are going to be really powerful for your hormones. Um, Nutrition is going to be huge. Emotional recovery. That's like just like what we talked about. There's not as much like all the extra tools aren't necessarily going to help the emotional piece, but that's where like finding those things that light you up really are powerful. And then of course like cellular recovery is going to be more like nutrition, your hydration, red light therapy can be really powerful here. So that snapshot, just in case you're like, okay, what is where I notice myself the most out of whack? Because at the beginning I told you, I this is a lot of stuff and you're probably like, I don't even know where to start. 100%. What we want to do is go, okay, let's look at where we're under recovered, right? Things that are going to show you that you're under recovered is like poor sleep, right? So your sleep quality is really low. Maybe even if you're sleeping a good amount of hours, but you just don't feel refreshed. You don't feel good when you wake up. That's a huge sign. Your resting heart rate is elevated or you have really low HRV. That's a sign that your body's under recover, like very much so. Constant fatigued, if you're wired and tired, that's telling me your hormones are out of balance. Your performance in the gym is going down. Like you're regressing in the gym, you're plateauing weeks and weeks and weeks on end. You're not progressing, or you're actually having to pull down on weight, is a good sign that your body is not happy. Cravings, bloating, you're irritable, you're like, rawr, that's a sign. Our nutrition, hormones, things like that. Your training just feels harder than usual. And that doesn't mean like a one-off day. Like you're gonna have moments and days where you're like, oh, I'm just more exhausted, or it just wasn't my best training session. That's real. You're not every day is not gonna be like, that was the best session ever. But when you start noticing like your training just it's like weeks on end, you're like, this is I'm ugh, that's a sign that your body needs something. And so recovery here is where we have to get smart, right? So it's like what we want to watch for is start looking at kind of these categories, right? Your sleep quality, your energy levels, mood and motivation, your training, your hunger and cravings, and then, of course, digestion and your cycle. If you don't have a cycle, don't stress, ladies. You're fine. If you're like menopausal, postmenopausal, you're not going to have a cycle. But when we're looking at this, we want to start tracking some of these different things that I have on this chart because what it can show is that if you're like, wow, yeah, my sleep quality is awful, or like I am not getting a lot of deep sleep. I'm not feeling refreshed. I'm waking up a whole bunch. My dreams, that tells me that your nervous system needs help and your hormones need help. So that's where you can go back here. And it's like, okay, if my hormones need help and my nervous system needs help, again, we don't need to add in all of these things, but it can be like, okay, what's going to be the most bang for my buck here? What can I start adding or focusing on that's going to help, right? So it could be like, I really need to focus on my sleep and my nutrition, right? That can be a really powerful place to start, as much as it's like, I want to add in the sauna, I want a massage, great, but that's probably not going to help necessarily your sleep feel better. Same thing with like energy levels. It's going to probably be your nervous system, hormones, nutrients, your mood, nervous system, hormones, emotional recovery. Training performance is going to be physical recovery. Hunger and cravings is going to be nervous system. Now, sometimes this can also be nervous system recovery if you're feeling like fatigued and burnt out and regressing. Could also be that your nervous system needs a break from training, a deload week, some space, a diet break, all of that kind of stuff. Hunger, hunger and craving, nutrients, nervous system, hormones, digestion, hormones, and nutrients. And then cycle health is going to be your nervous system and hormonal recovery. So you can kind of use those two pieces together to kind of look at like what could I potentially add, and of course talk to your coach too. What's going to make me feel better, what's going to help me get the most bang for my buck. And the last piece you can do if you're like, okay, I don't even know where to start with that, because I'm like, okay, let's just go down and have a little quiz where you can start asking yourself um kind of these 5 questions. Is like, okay, for sleep, is it deep, consistent sleep that leaves you restored and energizing, right? Or energized. So then you can do like 1 is a struggling, 5 is managing, 10 is thriving. So you can rate and score each one of these questions. And the cool part is then you can see which is the one that needs the most attention, right? And you can reflect of like which one feels the strongest right now. Which one is constantly falling through the cracks? Like, what's the one that you're like, ugh, this one's not good. So this could even be something you do like every week for a month and you just watch it to see like, is it consistent? Is it all over the place? But which one is falling through the cracks? And then what's one shift I can make this week that can help improve that score? And the thing, not just what, but how am I adding it in? Like, how am I creating space and a system in my day to add something like this in? So it might be like, okay, I need some more emotional recovery. So I'm going to schedule in these, like maybe it's a coffee date, or maybe it's like a coffee date with self. Like maybe it's just you scheduling time with you to go do something on your own. Um, we don't need to do everything at once. You don't need to add in 100 of these. Sometimes, not sometimes, always, quality is always better than quantity. So it's like, let's do something really well and do it where it adds in to our life versus like another thing to do, right? Because that's what can be like, now I just feel like all I'm doing is all of this recovery stuff. Don't, right? Don't. I don't need you to now fill up your, all I do is like work out, eat, and recover. Don't. We need to have a life, right? So it's like choose the ones that are going to help you. And then we can always add, right? Like, and add systems and find ways to make it easy to implement, where it's not like feeling like you're overwhelming or doing so much stuff, but add it in. Start with the one that feels like it's like, this is where I need to focus on first. And then you can always add, add. Cool. Um, I want you to remember progress is found in the pause. So a lot of times you'll hear me say, like, let's just pause for a moment. Let's just pause. Because that a lot of times we're thinking we're living in this future state or in the past state, and we're not even where our feet are. So sometimes we just need a moment to breathe, to pause, and be intentional with whatever we're doing. And if you do feel like you're like, I'm just, ugh, we're probably doing too much. And so it's like we don't need more, we just need better and quality. And then when you honor your recovery, your body and your mind are going to rise to meet your effort. You're going to notice with time, it's not going to be instant, but with time, and that's what the hard part is with like with sleep and things like that. It's like we just want it to be better now, but you have to give your body time to shift and adjust and to pivot. And when you honor these pieces, and especially like keeping these pillars in your mind, that like we want our body to be happy, and these are those recovery systems that are going to help keep it feeling the best. So again, don't add in all the things. Do the ones that matter. Of course, if there's any training, thank you so much. I believe it was Melissa for sharing that she wanted this training. Um, I always love recommendations because we want it to suit you and add to your life. So if there's anything you want me to go into, just drop a message or you can shoot me a message anytime. Um, so we can do it. So thank you. I look forward to next month and I hope you enjoyed it.